Welcome back to Daytime Live. We're joined by life coach and gender specialist about a very, very serious subject. We're talking about suicide prevention. Welcome, Carla.
Hi, Alicia Yan. How you doing?
Well, we're doing good. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Carla. What's Happy New Year.
Good. Happy New Year. I'm glad to separate the jeans and some bring down the overall value of the show. I actually decided to get dressed today. I was here. I've been here.
Carla! Carla! Oh, God, Carla, I love you. You don't understand.
That's what you call kingdom energy. That's
Kingdom
energy.
Carla, Carla, I'm going to jump in right here.
Yeah.
Because I know we're having jokes, but January is usually the time of month when suicide rates are really high. Explain that to us a little bit.
Yep.
So people would normally think that around Christmas time is when suicide rates would go up. Overall, what you find is that suicides are higher in spring. But one of the things that we find is that you do get a rebound in January. And what happens is sometimes people will put it off, they'll delay it and get through the holidays. And then when January comes is when they go through with it. And it's understandable. So if you are looking at the year that's gone and you didn't really see much joy in it, you didn't see much success in it, and you don't have any interest in repeating it, then it could bring you to a feeling of deep emotional pain. And you're just like, I can't bother, I don't want to do this. I don't know if I'm capable of doing this, and I choose not to do this. And I'm looking for a solution, and this is one of the solutions that I found. I think, Happy New Year and Happy 2024. I call it 2020 more or 2020 sore. We get bound up in that energy. But suppose you're not looking at a good year ahead. Suppose you're looking at bills that keep mounting. Suppose you're looking at an illness that you can't see the solution for. Suppose you're in a job and you hate the job and you can't see the way out from the job. Suppose your family isn't happy. That's a lot that's just piling onto you, and you're looking at 365 more days of that. People feel defeated, and so that's one of the things that can contribute to suicide in January.
So pretty much the season, the Yuletide season, the celebratory season, can be somewhat of a trigger. So
yes, we thought that originally we're expecting that the suicides are going to come up around Christmas and New Year's, and sometimes they do.
Right.
But what we found is that people will tend to stick it out through the Christmas and the New Year's, but the January is where they can't hold it now.
Yeah, because you're now off that high. It's reality. The reality has no kick back in. And is no more magnified by there's another year ahead.
A whole year worth of non-enjoyment, non-resolution, no solution to the issue that I'm facing.
Moving a little bit further down that road, the season, you said, may just magnify what is already there. But if the season didn't exist, you said they would put it off. Which then leads me to ask, what are the causes, the direct causes of suicide?
Some of the causes are, or some of the things, let's say some of the things that can contribute to suicidality. One, severe depression, right? Stress, emotional pain. So if we take the umbrella and say the emotional pain, under that, you have things like severe depression. You have things like prolonged stress. You have things like, trauma, past trauma. And you have post-traumatic stress disorder now, because the trauma did happen at a particular point. It's altered your brain chemistry. It's altered the way of seeing the world. It's popping up in your everyday life. Exposure to other person's suicide. So Jamaicans always have a thing where them say they come in a tree. When it comes down to suicide, there's a kernel of truth there, because if people are exposed to another person's suicide, it increases the likelihood that they might go ahead and attempt suicide or complete suicide themselves. And then other things like loss or fear of loss, relationships. And as we said, the root is emotional pain, hopelessness, substance abuse. One of the things that we know happens in Jamaica whenever the exam grades are come out either right before the exam grades come out, you find young people committing suicide, or just as the exam grades come out, you find young people committing suicide because they don't think that they have the capacity to deal with the outcomes of not getting the grades that they expected to get. You know, it just feels like something that them can't manage.
Carla, the thing about it is everything that you're saying is so relevant to all of us. You know, stressful situations, insurmountable bills, a broken heart, relationships are difficult. Everything you're saying is, everybody here can relate to one or two of those things. So my question to you is, what do we look for then? For our loved ones, people that are in our family, what are the signs that we could try to say, yo, I think you may be, you know, experiencing close to whatever? What can we look for?
Yes, great question.
And,
you can look out.
Can I throw something into that you can probably lean to? What are the gender differences? Because you may have signs that manifest themselves differently in probably male or female. So
yeah, their suicide is actually quite gendered. So in terms of the signs, you can look out for three things. You can look out for what the person is saying, you can look out for what they're doing, and you can look out for their mood. So if the person is talking about suicide, if they're talking about feeling hopeless, if they must say, Lord, me just can't bother, me can't manage, like me just tired, they talk about things like they feel trapped in their life, that might be a hint to you that they're getting to this point where they don't feel there's a way out and they might be looking for a permanent solution. For their behaviors, you can look for changes in the sleeping pattern. They might be sleeping a lot or they're not sleeping so much. Aggression, fatigue, you might see an increase in like the alcohol and the drug use. They start to withdraw. And then in terms of the mood, we can look at two ends of the spectrum. We can either have the anxiety, which can come out in, you know, the very high strung or not wanting to go out or feeling very unsettled about things, or the depression. One thing that I really want to flag is this: sudden resolution of an ongoing issue. So you have somebody who they've been struggling, and then all of a sudden you just seem like it's a brand new day, and everything magically fixed. That could be a sign that they're in that place where they're considering suicide, because that them find a solution.
Got you.
Right?
Got you.
Another thing is if they suddenly start putting their affairs in order. You know, all of a sudden you've started selling or giving away things in your house. You've started gifting things. You're going on a trip. Because I had an uncle who committed suicide, and he went on a trip and he visited all of his close friends one by one and spent a weekend with them. Right, because he was prepared, right? Now, in terms of the gender differences, 2/3 of suicides are men. And it's not difficult to understand. Pressure bust pipe. We socialize men to understand that it's not okay for them to express their emotions, or there's a tiny range of emotions that them can express. They can be upset, and they can be sexually aroused by a woman. Those are the emotions that men are allowed to express. Anything else is a problem. So they don't necessarily talk things out in the same way that women do, and when it mounts up, then they start to look for a solution. So men are more likely to complete suicide. When men commit suicide, they're also using more fatal methods than women. So because we teach men that you must get the job done, it comes up even in the way that they approach suicide as well.
Carla, I don't want to cut you, but now that we've kind of identified the problem, some of the causes, some things that we can actually see, we can identify, we can look out for. How can we support as an individual, and where can we go for, we can go in Jamaica for help?
And Carla, we're running out of time, so
yeah, no problem. If you want to support an individual, one of the first things I would say is go at it directly. Ask them, is this something that you're considering? Ask them, where are they in the planning? And ask them, what is the support that you can offer to them? What is the support that we need? In terms of support, Jamaica has a suicide hotline. It's 888-NEW-LIFE, so 888-639-5433. For young people, they can go online and contact Safe Spot JA. Those are things that are tailored for youth. And then they can also go to You Report, the You Matter on Instagram. So Safe Spot and You Matter on Instagram, and young people can get support there. So that's 3 quick ways that you can get support if you're feeling suicidal and you need somebody to talk to in Jamaica.
All right, Carla, thank you so much. I feel like you have to come back because there's so much more questions that we want to ask you, but we're out of time. I know you have a course at UWI. We're going to talk some more about that later. Check out Carla, social media handles and stuff like that. Thank you for joining us, Carla. We definitely need it, particularly at this time. Blessings. On that note, Daytime, I'll be right back with a music video from Wiley, Idris, Sean Paul, and of course, Steph Lon Don. Don't want to miss it.